All right, welcome in. Brian Edwards, MajorWager.com. It is Wednesday, April 17th, and this is our NBA update. Okay, so far we have the favorites winning 9 of 13 games outright, and the favorites are also 9-4 against the spread going into tonight's action as we have game 2 in Boston. The Celtics are -7.5 against the Pacers. The total is 206.5. Al Horford is questionable for the Celtics with an illness. I would expect him to play. I don't know anything about the illness, but without a broken bone or a major injury, Al Horford is not going to let a sore throat or the sniffles get in the way of him playing in a playoff game. Detroit at Milwaukee, no Blake Griffin. Milwaukee is 15. The total is 215. And in Houston tonight at Toyota Center, the Rockets with a 1-0 series lead are 6.5 or 7 with a total of 214 to the Utah, give me 2, Jazz. Now let's look to the updated series prices going off of sportsbook.ag. We've got the 76ers as a -400 chalk to the Nets, +320 on the comeback. We've got the Raptors at -600. That series is tied with the Magic. The Magic winning game 1 in Toronto. Toronto cruising to victory last night. The Magic are +450 on the comeback. The Clippers, greatest comeback in NBA playoff history. In fact, a few tickets got cashed in game at 100-1 odds on the money line when they were down 31. The Clippers, great comeback sparked by Lou Williams, a professional bucket maker, and Montrezl Harrell, the outstanding young big man out of Louisville. The Warriors are still a 40-1 favorite, or -4,000. The Clippers are +1,600 or 16-1 odds as they head back to Staples Center for game 3. And that will be tomorrow night with the Warriors favored by 8.5 and a total of 236.5. And I like the Clippers as a big home dog, healthy home dog in that spot. Home dogs, I should say. Nuggets pull even with the Spurs last night. They are now a -150 favorite in this best of 7 series. The Spurs are +130 as they move to San Antonio tomorrow night, and the Spurs are 3.5 point favorites with a total of 210.5 as they are knotted at 1. Looking to the Pacers Celtics. Now, this is obviously going into tonight's game with the Celtics leading the series 1-0, and we've got the Celtics at -850, the Pacers at +600. The Thunder down in an 0-2 hole. They were favored to win this series despite not having home court advantage. Portland snapping a 10-game losing streak in the playoffs in game 1. Remember, they had gotten swept by the New Orleans Pelicans last season. But with a 2-0 lead heading back to OKC, the Blazers are -200, and the Thunder can be had as a +170 underdog. You may have seen that Tracy McGrady suspects a torn labrum for Paul George because he's had that injury before, and he's seeing some tendencies out of Paul George that make him believe that. If so, Paul George is playing at way less than 100% and playing in pain as well, which is pretty clear regardless. Okay, the Bucks are, good gracious, there's so many zeros in there. I guess that's going to be 200-1 favorites with a 50-1 comeback price on the Pistons. And we don't know when Blake Griffin is going to be back, but apparently will not be tonight, or at least he's considered out on all injury reports. No reports of him being a go tonight. The Rockets are -600 to the Jazz, who are +450. And again, they meet tonight in game 2. Houston up 1-0 as a 6.5-point favorite with a total of 214. Now let's get to our updated futures to win the NBA title. Golden State, not as chalky now. You can get them at a better price. They're at minus 160. The second shortest odds to win the NBA championship are the Milwaukee Bucks at plus 450, risk 100 to win 450. And then you have the Rockets at plus 750, the Raptors at 15 to 1, the Celtics at 18 to 1. And yes, I think the Celtics have the best value of anyone out there at 18 to 1. Denver Nuggets 40 to 1, 76ers 40 to 1, Portland 60 to 1, the Thunder 100 to 1, the Spurs 100 to 1, the Jazz 100 to 1, Brooklyn 200 to 1, the Clippers 400 to 1 along with the Orlando Magic, the Pacers are 500 to 1, and oh my gosh. What is that number on the Pistons? I guess it's 2,500 to 1 on the Pistons. So risk $1, you win 2,500 if the Pistons win it all, which will not be happening. Bill Laimbeer, Rick Mahorn, Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, and the Bad Boys, and Dennis Rodman pre-tats are not walking through that door. As for another line tomorrow night that I have not mentioned, as the series shifts to Barclays Arena in Brooklyn, the Philadelphia 76ers are 3-point favorites with a total of 227 and a half. Toronto, as that series moves to Orlando Friday, knotted at 1. Toronto is a 4.5-point favorite, or 4. There are 4s out there as well. At Orlando, a total of 210. And then the Portland, Oklahoma City game 3 line on Friday night. That one is OKC minus 7.5 and a total of 221 and a half. Injury notes, obviously, we mentioned Blake Griffin. We mentioned Al Horford's status. I don't think that's an issue tonight. I mean, he may not be 100%, but I'll be shocked if he's not in the arena and plays. Injury to keep an eye on. Joel Embiid, obviously, as that knee issue appears to be something that may linger. Otherwise, as I click around here, obviously DeMarcus Cousins looks like he's going to be done. They're leaving a possibility maybe he could be back for the finals. Really tough break for DeMarcus Cousins. So I am Brian Edwards. You are up to date with the NBA playoffs. And Brian Edwards of MajorWager.com. Thanks for joining us. Over and out.